bit surprising to you, Lumi?
No, I don't think so. He is a hero that could impact the game early, as we were mentioning through multiple games. The laning stage kind of determines a lot, and also he's a hero that allows you to, when you're ahead, stay relatively far ahead because of the vision that you limit from the other team, and when you're behind, you could just make some Hail Mary smoke gank, and of course using that vision advantage that you have from Darkness to make something happen. So I think he plays well, really, from all stages of the game.
And I think that it's him and Sand King. Like, those are the two roaming heroes, early position 4s that make stuff happen around the map. And I'm really curious if TnC are going to do something else, and they leave the IO in the pool. So, like, that's always been the 3 heroes for Clutch Gamers. It's they take one of those, or further for TnC, they take one of those 3 in the first phase every time if they can get it.
So we see IO coming out. You know, Hero's going to bring up, speaking of the Night Stalker being banned so much too, but one that we haven't really seen any of is, again, at least in Southeast Asia, is Coddle. Cupid the Light there. You know, Hero's going to bring up, speaking of the Night Stalker being banned so much too, but maybe we could still see, or is he one that we haven't really seen with any of is, again, at least in Southeast Asia, is Coddle. Cupid the Light there. You know,
hero that you definitely can kind of look at some teams and be like, yeah, if you're versing this team, like a team like Liquid, with GH's Coddle, or you're versing Planet Odd with Saxa. I think there's certain players that you're like, yeah, we need to ban their Coddle. Yeah. If you're versing this, but I think it's not a hero you can just pick up because he's a strong meta hero. I mean, I think he is a really strong hero if you've got the player who can handle him, but it takes the right kind of mind for that.
Maybe paired up with that Bristleback too. You know, we were seeing that a little bit too.
Yep.
That aggressive off lane, but they're thinking about these first two. Already down to a minute and a half of reserve time for their first 2 picks here. Clutch Gamers, it's almost like the Wisp kind of caught them off guard.
That's weird though, because that's, again, like, it's sort of been a pick your poison type of thing. I would imagine that Clutch Gamers, like every other team in Southeast Asia, bans the IO first phase against TnC, so I would have expected them to have something prepared for that.
Are they about to give away IO Bristleback to TnC? Because that is a recipe for disaster.
Batrider's been very popular in this region, I noticed too, as far as a high priority. So they do pick Lina. I mean, Lumi, you're just suggesting Bristleback is a very popular option here.
I mean, we've seen MVP of the past just, I mean, they run it better than pretty much any team out there. Instead, we're going to see a Sven.
Oh, wow. Okay. Why Sven here, you think?
It's a great combo. It helps him to farm more. You can stack in the jungle with IO through the early levels, and I think that it's hard to punish a Sven in lane. Maybe if they run something else with Slardar here, they could try and do it, because you know that it might be a little bit weaker with IO in those first initial levels.
Yep. One thing that IO also brings to the table as a support is that he's one of the best stacking supports, because early on you can use Tether to break trees, which gives you some like easy like pulling with your regular auto attack and also using your spirits to pull. It depends on how well practiced the IO player is for TnC, but you could kind of get away with some ridiculous amount of jungle stacks for a Sven.
And at level 25, you can stun people.
Yeah.
That's true.
My God.
Think of the possibilities.
I want to see that level 25 IO, but
I'm pretty sure the other talent is still better than...
What's the other talent?
I don't even know.
I don't know, but I remember like comparing the two, and it's like stun is not the one you get.
Quap ban.
OP, but yeah, I think for TnC and I think for SE as a region, this Sven has become kind of a meta carry pick. Mineski's been first to picking it in a lot of their games. Last game it was, I think, was it first stage banned against them, I think, even?
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
It was banned very early against Mineski.
Yeah.
So it seems like something that's maybe come out of the scrims that teams have been playing there, that, hey, Sven's actually a really good carry for our region and our metagame as a whole.
Well, for Mineski, when they picked up the Sven, the other team like counter-pick with Razor. They're like, okay, well, we'll move it to a support instead. And it just shows the versatility there as well. TnC wanting to play it as a core here does take out the Razor, but there are quite a bit of decent like heroes that you could slow Sven. Like, for example, the Mid-Viper has been getting some traction. We, in fact, seen Clutch Gamer played it. I mean, Breaking Week has a game where...
I was just thinking.
Yeah. Venocore, they also ran Venocore to Clutch, so there's a lot of heroes that you could just put a ton of slow on a hero like Sven and give him a lot of trouble.
I think the way that they want to do it, though, is like either take something in the off lane, like you set up for the ganks with the Sven. That's I think the IO relocate ganks is how they're going to want to play in the mid game. So something like the Clockwork or like a Batrider.
Okay.
And then you don't end up having to do it. Just Sven and IO come in, they blow somebody up, and then Raven goes back to farming, because that's how he likes to play anyways.
I like this. They ban out, I mean, 2 of the 3 Sven counters you mentioned, they ban out.
They picked the third.
They'll take it now.
And the Viper you mentioned, Lumi, they can't really pick with the Lina unless they want to put Lina as a support.
Yeah, I mean, this draft is so hard to kill anything. There's defensive relocate, there's press the attack. And if you look at Clutch Gamer, they're all single target focus. I mean, Lilian's got a couple of AoE, but you're looking at Corrosive Haze, Flaming Lasso, and Laguna.
They need a hero to hunt this IO, I feel. Like the Weaver, the Clinks, something that can synergize well with the amp damage from the Slaughter and get to the backlines. Find that IO, take him out of the picture. I feel like that is, like, otherwise they're just not, like you say, they're not going to kill anything. You don't really want to go on this Sven ever.
There's going to be a lot of value for that press the attack this game already. Stress to cross the phase in, especially the lasso, of course. Coming out. So that 4th pick for Clutch Gamers. We'll see if they get that pick-off artist of sorts. And also still yet to find out if the Lina, again, you've expected to be in the middle lane, but not 100% set just yet.
It's just so spooky. Like, even if you, I was thinking like a Storm Spirit or something, but that even, if you go on the IO, then you might have press the attack. And I was wondering if they were going to take Silencer. I still don't like it that much, though, because like you guys said, it's all very single target focused. Silencer doesn't provide that much. So they need like a hell of a carry there at the end.
It provides a timing window where they could kill somebody relatively quickly without any sort of help. You know, that comes down to like you lassoing the right target. The problem with all of this is if Sven gets off Warcry before Global comes out, then a kill also is quite difficult.
Or if Sven jumps you, that Global's kind of useless too.
Sure,
like
sure.
If he Godstring blinks in with BKB or whatever, good luck. I mean, he's going to have BKB for the silence later on as well.
So now TnC. What do they need? They need a middle option still in their 4 position.
Depending how they want to play this IO. Like, we've seen some teams have their 5 position player on it, others have their 4. I think there's kind of flexibility. With the Sven, you typically want to have a support laning with him, and they'll get the Spirit Breaker.
Oh my god.
More stun, more run at you, more aggression.
They have 4 strength heroes. Timber Saw mid? Is that a possibility? It's also 2 melee.
Timber safe lane even.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. Already the Lina.
So earlier I mentioned the way you could pressure Silencer is just get on his face. Clockwork being the most popular counter pick, but Spirit Breaker serves the same issue for the Spirit Breaker. Like, what the hell can you do when Spirit Breaker comes running?
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. So they ban Ursa themselves. Ember Spirit ban from Clutch Gamers. Figuring they still need that mid option, of course. So you already had the Qua from earlier on. So thinking of a Cuckoo hero here.
I think Tinker's okay. It's very Cuckoo hero.
It's kind of hard to play, I think, against Silence or bad. But in the lane matchup against Lina is not necessarily fantastic. But
I like the global presence of him. I think it's a hero that he likes. And with Quap ban, there's like, you get into weird territory. Oh!
Legion mid.
LC mid, okay.
Or either Sven mid, but that was what Liquid did one game in the Epicenter finals. But I think more likely LC mid. So Darkseer this game is a hero. They're picking this because they wanted. I mean, maybe they planned the Legion mid all along, but one of the big things about Darkseer is he's in the mid to late game. He doesn't care about the global silence.
Right, it's a natural Greaves builder that could reset the fight for them because Clutch Gamer is so all in of getting kills on the global. When you could prevent it with simply Greaves, vacuum, you just win the fights.
Like in my mind, the second I saw the silence, I was like, oh, can they still pick Omni? Because Omni's a Greaves buyer who can then repel a teammate. Darkseer's a similar idea. He doesn't then purge it off a teammate, but
that's a counter.
Yeah, that's an anti like Sven Legion type hero. Good against Darkseer even.
Hunt the IO.
Dang.
Kind of fits that idea.
That's a bold pick, but
I liked it. Yeah,
Jeez.
I like it quite a bit.
Fits the draft, but
it's a safe lane Blast Seeker too. At least he's not going to get too pressured by the Iron Shell, but you could put Iron Shell on a Spirit Breaker and just like run at him.
I don't know if you can relocate anymore either. Blood Right's kind of obnoxious to relocate into.
Depending how you time it, like I think the really good IO players can time it so they tether at the very last second, like millisecond, right before the relocate.
It's
goes
also
off.
interesting what kind of build that Blessed Seeker goes for. We've seen like a Yule's build to kind of be more of a utility. We've seen obviously the traditional right-click build. Some players like to go for like an Aghanims for double rupture. It's hard to say what build he's going to go for, but his safe lane I think leans him towards more of the physical build. Maybe an early Blade Mail to kind of sit in the front and right-click.
Yeah, I like the idea of the Iron Shell throwing up on a Spirit Breaker. That's really annoying to play against. Iron Shell in general already annoying. You got a target that's perfect for it. So All right, predictions here. Bloodseeker a strong final pick perhaps, but is that enough to lean towards Clutch Gamers, Lumi?
I think TNC's draft is just way too robust. They have a clear strategy. The LC mid is a little bit awkward, but I think I'm gonna side with them. Their draft looks strong here.
I didn't see enough in the Bloodseeker pick that made me think that Clutch is going to be better. I think TnC is a much stronger team than Clutch Gamers right now, and I don't think that I see like a clear out draft. But there's so many weird things going on that there could be something we missed in the draft too.
Gods, what do you think?
It's an interesting one. I think this mid matchup for Lina is really good. You're against a melee hero. You shouldn't get pressured too much, but I think the farming game, the stack efficiency from TnC, they should be able to do really well in terms of farming efficiency and hit this good mid-game timing, like with Sven having a couple items, and they should be able to snowball off of that.
Well, here we go. Sven with the Poor Man Shield. Purchased right from the beginning. They're all 5 grouped up middle lane, by the way. And they are going to smoke up and head towards the top now. So as we see, there's not really anyone showing. In fact, Bloodseeker is making a point to be very defensive here. Not wanting to get caught. Yeah, Silencer roaming over slightly, but turns around pretty quickly.
Yep. This is some like weird SEA meta of level 1 smoke ganks because like Bloodseeker's like hugging the tier 2 tower in the trees. There's a dire ward like hidden blocking the side pull at top, and TnC is fishing for anybody up here. Clutch must have seen this before because Bloodseeker is nowhere to be seen in this top lane.
Yeah,
although they may scout him. Okay, the smoke wears off though.
Yeah, not going to see him there. This is that familiarity with your own region here, playing against your own region's teams plenty, perhaps. So, Darkseer trying to make his way to down here, but not going to be able to get any bit of the bounty rune. It will still be a 2-2 split, though. Obviously, they steal the top rune up here.
Yep. It will be Legion in that typical offlane role, but played by Cuckoo, and the IO Sven has kind of suggested has been run before, looking to head to the mid lane. So Raven playing a mid Sven, Cuckoo in an offlane Legion, and Sam H is safe lane Darkseer.
Are they going to see the Slaughter? Yes. They see the Slaughter poking out in the middle lane, so it won't really catch them off guard. Instead, Boombox is just going to have to run it over with those boots of his. Throws out the crush, but now he's going to be charged, actually. Stormhammer comes out. First blood potential. Spiritbreaker on the ledge. Not going to happen, though. Just a little too tanky. Gets far enough. Just runs on by, though. Again, having those boots, felt comfortable. But yeah, Cuckoo in the offlane Legion Commander. That is different here. Well, why do they want to do this so much, you think, with the Sven IO mid?
They really want this IO Sven kill potential against a squishy mid. It's like the Leaners, the Invokers, these heroes don't like these dual mids that can kind of run at you and put you on the back foot. Top lane, Gabby.
First blood potential. Boy. There we go. Cuckoo gets credit for it, but that really was 1-4-3-7 up there. Hit the charge and helps finish the job at least. So, yeah, Gabby goes down, and that's... Now the supports are here, but they've already lost their carry once, and Legion Commander kind of taking the damage with a Stout Shield of his.
That is definitely concerning. This Spirit Breaker getting involved in a kill. Getting that fast level 2 on Spirit Breaker is always really nice and helps get you off to a good start. He'll have that at least from the 2-minute bounty rune at the latest. So definitely the start they're hoping for, and we'll see how this top lane kind of can get turned around by Clutch. They're committing 3 heroes up there. They really need to try and stabilize things.
Yeah, it's, as you pointed out, the way they're committing to it. But you see Darkseer down here at the bottom lane. Oh my god, this Iron Shell value. Level 1, but farming up the huge stack that is, as well as the creeps of the pull. So very good farm for Sam H there. Normally the offlane player for the team, and in this case playing in that safe lane, of course, in a 1v1 matchup even.
Not going to be a kill, but there's a lot of harassment. There may be a kill with the next stun if they want to dive this in.
Oh yeah, it definitely is.
Gonna get it. Okay,
One
I didn't
more.
think it was a kill, but
There you go.
he threw a stun and missed it, and then the second stun was like damage already done, and the bottle refill means they don't even have to leave this lane. Unfortunately for Io, the rune is top though.
Well, he does get that bounty rune right there. Of course, he uses it and leaves the bottom one to still be picked up. Top lane looks like some action coming out up here. LC barely living. Salve's going to be taken off at least. Won't be a kill, though, on LC. However, Fly Solo could be falling victim.
Where's the bash?
There you go. Well, auto attack's more than enough to finish the job, actually. So, good turnaround there. 3-0 start for TnC. Now looking good for Clutch Gamers already.
Yes, outplaying them in the laning stage. It's the mid lane, Io Sven is meant to do well against Lina and ideally find those kind of kills, and top lane is really where things... You're running a tri-lane and you're not winning, so that's concerning.
Arcane's Curse put up. The Crush already connecting. Gabby, with that Blood Rage, trying to run him down, and will actually do so. Takes a tower aggro on top of that, so finally something to be positive if you're Clutch Gamers here.
Spent all his money though, so Spirit Breaker kind of needed a Fountain Trip anyways. He was already getting low in HP mana. Spends his money, gets out of there, and dies, but is ultimately not going to hurt him too much.
And guess what? He's going right back towards the top lane with that charge. If they could kill Bloodseeker again, they're going to be diving the tower to do so. If he needs a bash proc right here. Yeah, guess what? He gets a bash proc. Easy killing Gabby.
That is some serious aggression coming out from TnC's off lane.
Oh, he knew he was going to bash him, so.
Yeah.
It's always
under control.
Sign of a good Spirit Breaker player. And you just know it. Darkseer, though, matched up against the Bat Rider down here. And again, Sam H feels like it's getting very good. Back to the top lane. They're still going, man. This is just intense. Fly solo. One out of attack. Okay, he is going to be enough to Orbit Venom. And don't tell me they're going to kill Bloodseeker again. Oh, boy, he's going to dodge around the tree. He actually will live this time. Less overwhelming odds in 2 more seconds. It's level 2. It should be enough for the kill. It is enough for the kill. A killing spree indeed for Cuckoo at the top lane. They are not afraid to run at them.
It's brutal. They're going to have a shrine in 50 seconds, so Cuckoo may not even go back to base, although may just want to use his last 75 mana TP home. Yeah, he'll do that. So save the shrine for later. This Slatter has just been able to offer nothing for the dire side. Couldn't help top lane. Just not a very good, like, low-level 4 position like a Sand King or something. And mid lane Raven.
No, he's good.
With the raindrops will survive.
He's good. No big deal. Spirit Breaker charges in. And pushes everybody back, but no, I'm honestly a little surprised he lived. If anything, I thought Io was going to come in with a tether, but yeah, you're right. The raindrops keep him alive.
Bloodseeker getting a lot of extra thirst damage and movement speed off of that, but won't amount to too much. Tims gets into D-Ward on the Io, and once these heroes heal up and go back to lane, this Lina has got to be very careful in mid with the Sven's TP back in.
So we are seeing rotations now. Whenever you have a start like this for one team where they're just getting completely overwhelmed in the laning phase, you almost expect that swap to happen. And I mean, Bloodseeker goes to the bottom lane, but it's just really much better. You have a level 3 Ion Shell in his face constantly now as a melee hero, so.
It's not all that much better. No, you're right. He's got some sustain with the Blood Rage, so he doesn't matter taking the Ion Shell damage since he can heal himself back up, but ultimately it's going to be a tough lane. Spirit Breaker's actually followed them down bottom.
Oh no, another bash? Good Spirit Breaker, right?
Oh,
Oh, maybe he does and actually surge away. Yeah.
Looks like he canceled an attack. They heard the Iron Shell, so rather than attack, it looked like he was trying to burn him down with the Iron Shell, but accidentally cancels an attack, and not too big of a deal, though.
Gonna head middle lane onto the Lina right here, but that would be an ambitious dive instead. Now he's finding himself in a bad spot because Slark's just gonna crush him, and he knows he has to go back to his teammate, though, in Tims, who, by the way, is level 4. Io's doing a great job of getting those levels up with so much action. Haven't really been paying attention to him, but Spirit Breaker not out of the woods just yet. The Dragon Slave connects, but it's not enough damage on about 15 life.
Meanwhile, Sven, wow, he's burning.
It's burning, but Tim's going to heal him on up, as Io does here with that tether, and now Bat Rider's the one that's burning to the tower. Nice job taking off the aggro, though, from Silencer, but Silencer now all of a sudden in trouble. Use the spirits. Actually try to finish the job on him. Bloodseeker runs down. Io finally gets the kill. The Blood Rider put out won't even matter as Lina goes in and helps secure it.
Messy stuff, just like crazy, chaotic fighting Dota. This is the SEA Dota people know and expect. And it was a slight swing. Clutch Gamers get some much-needed kills off of Bloodseeker rotating in. Everyone getting so low. This is where Bloodseeker really shines, when he's getting all that movement speed and damage from the Thirst, and he's able just to clean up as a result. Silencer actually getting the kills and getting some nice bonus off of it.
Nice job by Slaughter right there. If he doesn't land that crush, that could be a dead Slaughter, but Spirit Breaker charging in, trying to take advantage of his lower life. Can't do so. But yeah, what happened to this game? Again, it's just TnC 6-1 with a very chaotic fight. Now they get a couple of kills. Slowing it down a little bit, but Bloodseeker, again, feeling the pressure. Legion Commander is level 6, so a duel ready for him, but you got Bloodseeker almost level 6 himself for that Rupture. Should expect is going to be very useful. Middle lane, more action though. Io, he's in a bad spot. He has a tether, but he doesn't really have a target to go to, and too much lockdown on him. Armel on the Lina, enough damage for the kill. Raven running. He will be fine, but Bloodseeker joins the rest of the party, hits level 6. Maybe some kind of push here, but nah, they're spreading out.
It's like Faisal's just going to get down some aggressive deep ward, see what he can find out, but was scouted going in by the Radiant Observer ward, so may not be the most sneaky thing he's done.
What do you go for if you're LC here, especially with a pretty good start? Is it that Blink priority or Blade Mail?
Could go Armlet as well if you want like a fighting item. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that, but any of those 3 options all sound good. Initiation-wise, they've got the Spirit Breaker charge for now. You've got Iron Shell, so perhaps you don't need the damage from Armlet, and the Straight Blink, like you suggest, could be the better way to go. So we'll see what has in mind, but I think all of those options can work out really well.
Is there ever a point where this middle lane, especially with how chaotic it is, do you send Sven bottom lane? You say, all right, enough's enough, let's just get him bottom, get some safe farming going on?
I think he's all right. He's actually top of the net worth for now.
Sure.
Stack-wise, he's got a double Ancient stack, and now, okay, that's not, 2 double Ancient stacks, so he's got something to work with. I think more than sending him bottom, you continue to stack.
It's going to be the first victory of the game for Legion Commander, maybe? Oh, barely. That was just running off, but he gets it in time, so some plus damage adding up for the LC now. You have nearby Alina. So stick around, though. She's probably not going to get much out of this, just instead going to jungle, but yeah, you are right. Sven, 4,124. There you go with the stack. Pops the God Strength, Stormhammer, everything used. Want to kill these and really enhance that farm now. The Mask of Madness just about finished on him.
Yep. Like, this didn't need to go for this early, but hey, we'll farm it all right. With the IO, it's not too dangerous. Making a nice little difference there, and yeah, he's a full 1,000 net worth ahead of the Lina at this point.
Do you have to be a little careful with that thirst, as you were mentioning earlier?
Yeah.
Bloodseeker.
Both very low. They want to shrine up. Slider will be on the high ground, but he can't take them on 1v2, so be able to stop this.
So you're taking out the sentry right there, as that was blocking the Ancients.
Looking for another jewel. This Legion Commander has smoked up with the Spirit Breaker.
Rupture used. He's going to search away, run with it. Buying some time for his teammates to get in here if anything. Wants to avoid the blood right, but nice job with the stun in the midst of it. He's going to stay alive because the press of the attack keeps him alive, and oh my gosh, he will finally fall. But the time has been bought. The dual victory not going to go off because the lasso comes out from Batrider, and Bloodseeker's able to run away. Down goes LC, and now it's just Spirit Breaker. He's going to burn as well. A 3 for nothing, so low on several heroes. Bloodseeker stays alive.
They went for the jewel on the Bloodseeker, hoping that they could save the Darkseer and also get both kills, but the free jewel was the Slider, but he wanted to go for the bigger kill a core hero, save his buddy Darkseer. They would just, if they had gotten there like a second sooner,
yeah,
it would have been a completely different fight, but the Darkseer was just too low by the time they got there to turn it around. Very close to being a big win for Radiant.
Yeah, it could have gone either way, but it goes in the favor of Clutch Gamers, so they tie up at 7 hero kills apiece, and now this Bloodseeker, he's on his way to finishing at least the Yasha. Going to be going to full S and Y at this rate, as far as his really first item pickup. And
yep. More of a right-click build. He wants to do more physical damage this game, and just have more stats so he doesn't just get bursted too easily by like the Sven, for example.
Is the Radiance ever going to be an option on him to think about, or is that just too much?
It's okay. Definitely a build I've seen bit in pub games. I think even maybe once in a pro game. It's definitely a situational build. Relocate top.
Yeah, they want the solder up here. LC, duel. There you go. Get a Stormhammer to guarantee it.
Win the jewel though.
There you go. Yeah.
Just in time. That was like last millisecond of jewel there, but hey, you take those. Nice relocate.
And they go right back middle lane with it. So good timing indeed.
His stack's ready to be farmed. Don't think he can stack this one again too easily.
I'm just going to take it. So again, he already has the Mask of Madness, going to be able to activate it here shortly. And his own SNY is to come as well. Just like that. Oh, they're smoking it. They had figured the timing was just off, though. Now Rupture will kill IO right there. That's unfortunate.
Not the biggest steal in the world.
No. You know, getting the Ancients, though, is obviously that's what's huge for TnC.
They're still hunting. Jesus. Sansa wants to go uphill. He's got to, yeah, let's say he just wants to get down some deep wards while he was still smoked, but with the smoke popping, I believe they may have a good idea that this has happened now. TnC just playing very aggressive with their lanes. They've given up a few kills because of how aggressive they're playing, but the lanes are always being heavily pushed out. They're able to get a lot of farm. They're finding jewel kills with the relocate, and now they may be able to collapse upon CG around this middle lane.
To answer the question from earlier, it looks like Cuckoo is going to be going the priority of the Blink Dagger. Almost 2,000 gold saved up, so yep, soon to have that.
When you saw top, you have, with the relocate backing you up, you just want to find the jewels and then get that guaranteed kill with an Iris Vent backing you up. So, top lane, here we go, charge.
Relocate in. Stormhammer right on top. Perfect coordination. Now they do get the global science out, but it was after several abilities already used. God Strength included, but it's not enough of a chase. And Bloodseeker survives. Now here's the turn chance. Spirit Breaker. He's going to be gone. He's actually ruptured up right here, so he can't really run too far. He's pretty much dead as a result. And down he goes. So only the one victim there in the end. Really unfortunate. Again, Bloodseeker, though, barely survives for TnC. And actually, they are going to lose LC on top of it.
Yeah, didn't buy his blink too. Didn't have the money, I believe. And second kill. Nice little turnaround from Clutch Gamers. Great use of the global silence, just instantly throwing it to save a life. And they then also all TP in and turn that one around really nicely.
So I don't know if Spirit Breaker wasn't level 6 at the time, or maybe it was the global science that prevented the Nether Strike right there. Or maybe just simply out of mana, but whatever the case, he wasn't able to get it off. It could have been the kill for sure.
I think Sven, this used to be the build going for the Yasha first, but I think it's actually better to go for the Sanj first because you get the maim. It used to be, hey, you farm with the extra attack. You've got Mask of Madness, so you don't really need the attack speed or the move speed. You've got Mask of Madness, you've got an IO. Those kills are actually a lot easier with the main. The Sanj movement speed slow is quite at least something when you're trying to gank like a Bloodseeker there.
Yeah.
The Yasha just doesn't do a whole lot when you've already got Mask of Madness, but ultimately the build just doesn't, you don't normally think about it. It's like, oh, it doesn't matter which I buy first, I'm going to get both anyways. I don't need HP, I've got an IO. Could have made a difference.
That's fair. Well, he's going to have both now, of course. The SNY just about completed. You gotta wonder if he had the Sage first instead, what maybe happens there, but that's all a what-if game. Bloodseeker, his own Sage coming along.
They want to try to find those relocate kills now. The Legion with the Blink Dagger wants to be smoking up. Problem is, okay, let's say there's a dire ward spotting them, but Cuckoo does manage to locate that one and de-ward it.
Double damage rune bottled up on Io here. There's that SNY. Actually completed meanwhile to Sven. And so we'll see what kind of opportunity they make. You mentioned the relocate. They've already used 2 for ganks, and so they are being very aggressive. We'll see some teams sometimes, you know, with like an IO, whatever combo, whether it's Tiny or Sven in this case, and aren't usually the most aggressive. Not usually, but just aren't aggressive with it, and it's almost like, well, why did you pick the hero then, right? So want to be able to take advantage of that ability. Get those kills. I mean, what is the mindset of that, you think? Like, are they being aggressive with it this game because of the makeup of the team, or is that something you really should always be looking for with the hero?
I think it's the makeup of the team and TnC's playstyle. They're just an aggressive team by nature. They've got 2 good setups with Legion Duel and the Spirit Breaker charge, so they're just finding they've got a lot of good opportunities for it, and they feel like they were ahead. They've actually, if anything, some of these aggressive relocates have helped get Clutch Gamers back in the game because like that top one really backfired. So I think offensive relocates are much riskier than just using it purely defensively and for like farming efficiency. Well, not so much the relocate for farming, but the IO as a hero. I think a lot of teams, like you look at picking IO at the top level, play him more as a 5 position, and they just play him as this defensive, healing, lane dominating support, and then they just use him later on just to defensively. They don't actually look for the relocate ganks as much. But playstyle-wise, TnC, they like to play aggressive, and that's what we're seeing here. It's definitely the more fun way to see the IO being played.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Cuckoo, he's going to port to the bottom lane. As relocate in, they are going to catch Slark, so makes use of that God Strength right there. They were actually pushing the top secondary tower with it initially, but eventually fell back after the vulnerability came out. But they get a hero kill out of it, and now going to push bottom tier 1 instead.
IO leaves the Sven behind, and Darkseer's even pressuring the top lane with his Iron Shelled creep wave, so definitely good damage being inflicted by TnC, who have only lost the 1 tower at bottom while taking all 3 tier 1s.
And there's that blink already purchased by Sven too, so now he has the extra mobility, the great way to either initiate or follow up a Spirit Breaker charging in or the LC duel at this time. So makes sense to you though, getting that blink after the SNY?
Yep, this is going to be looking fairly standard for the Sven. BKB next is queued up for now. Definitely going to help get out of the global, jump on a Lina, not worry about getting stunned and whatnot. The Blood Right silence, so looking pretty standard with his item pickups for the most part.
Well, there's a Blink Dagger purchased by Batrider actually, so good news for Clutch Gamers right there.
Yeah, we haven't. It feels like they've just been reacting, which right now the lead is not that big, but I think that's just because Clutch Gamers have been incredibly good at reacting to the TnC aggression. But we're going to start to see Clutch make their own plays. They've got not just the one blink, but both Slaughter and Bats blink. They've got 2 blinks all of a sudden. They can now be very aggressive, smoke up, find pickoffs, and set the tempo themselves a bit.
Silencer with a double raindrop.
That is unusual. I mean, you get the urn and then you still have a raindrop to just for being a raindrop, but buying 2 this early on may have been a case where he was dying and just wanted to spend his money or something.
Yeah, true.
I'm not sure. It may have been a misclick as well.
Smoked up him, Slaughter, as well as the Bat Rider with that newly purchased Blink Dagger, as mentioned. Trying to find a play with it, but doesn't seem like they're going to have the easiest time to do so. Top lane's looking tasty, but Darkseer, a difficult hero to gank effectively. He's going to hide in the trees, figuring something could be up. And instead, they head towards the top lane over here.
Really good position. Even Io Sven are in the trees to the side. Looks like they have nailed this Blink Dagger timing on the Clutch Gamer side by knowing exactly when to hide. They see a lot of heroes go missing off the map. They know it's about time where the Bat should have a Blink Dagger, and they carefully position themselves to not get caught. Say that Darkseer is very close to getting caught, but even he is far enough away from this Bat Rider. I believe, yeah, Pink's coming out. They see the fire on the low ground around this mid lane, so all Clutch get is the tier 1 mid off of what is one of their first big peaks in this game.
Yeah. Spirit Breaker sitting comfortably at the bottom lane. His Blade Mail that he's working on. He's looking for an opportunity, or more so just playing it safe as well, as they're still trying to get information as far as where they are at. You see at the top lane, Slaughter at least exposes himself, but he also gives away has that Blink Dagger.
Yep, kind of that point where someone's just going to show themselves, push out these lanes, because if you're not pushing out these lanes, it's very hard to find pickoffs. You're just revealing the fact that you are missing from the map, looking for ganks if your opponents aren't playing a bit blind.
Uh-oh. Double damage Sven with God's Strength. That silence, though, was perfect. The Blood Ride, he jumped right into it. Doesn't matter, though. Global Silence comes out after the fact. But he's going to be fine. Laguna Plate actually nuke onto him, so maybe not going to be so fine. Lasso will help finish the job. And so they are down Sven now. And Spirit Breaker was too committed himself. Io was nowhere to be seen, fortunately a little bit too far away at that point. Yeah, that was key, jumping in right as the Blood Ride went off.
Yeah, that was not played too well by the Sven. He probably thought he was just to the north of it, but it was just on the very edge.
And now Io gets picked off as well. Legion Commander, he's just going to keep on running, has to blink up, so Cuckoo will survive. That will be the last casualty, but another case of just like the top lane where they just barely have the kill.
Yep.
Backfires.
So that's the thing. Clutch Gamers, they're actually up on gold now, 13 kills to 10. All of their kills have just come from reactionary plays. That one there, it's like, it wasn't even great reactions. It was Sven messing up the initiation by blinking into a silence. He had to chase a little bit further. If he just blinks in with the God Strength and gets a stun off because he doesn't blink into the Blood Riot, it's a very different story. They get that kill, they just walk away. He could have solo killed the Bloodseeker. He didn't even need the charge if he gets in, like, if he initiates properly.
Yeah. Relocate top lane. They want Bat Rider, but again, unfortunately, they're not going to get it. And War Cries away with the Spirit Breakers, so going to relocate wherever they came from, which is over here, and farm some more Ancient. So BKB for Sven, I mean, that will help in cases like that, I guess. Going to be a pretty key item to have, it feels like, for the Sven. Staying alive and being mobile. Ooh, smoke, though, once again from Clutch Gamers. See who and what they can get. Guardian Creeps finished on Darkseer.
That's going to help against that global a bit. So he can actually, if his team get global, he can at least get the silence off himself and then vacuum wall to buy some time for his team.
They catch Io. Gonna kill him pretty quickly. Did not tether, of course. And he's dead for 30. It definitely seems like Clutch Gamers is really finding their groove now.
Yeah, that could set up a Roshan. Grabbing an Aegis would be very big for them right now. Io does not have buyback, and Sven theoretically could rotate in, but without a BKB, he will not feel safe going to Roshan. The dire vision around this Roshan pit is fantastic. They have 3 observer wards spotting the incoming traffic.
LC's just going to charge on him. Blood Right, though, will kind of zone him out. Corrosive Haze applied, so now they have that vision in that area, too. Press the attack could take that off if he wanted it. Rupture, Darkseer, going to stand his ground for now. Guardian Greaves are on cooldown. Just surges, says, I got to get out of here. Pops the Shrine. with the team. More ports coming in. Another Blood right on top of the Laguna Blade nuke to finish that job. Spirit can charge him with the Blade Mail. And here we go with Sven as well. God Strength off, activating, tears through a couple of Slaughter as well as the Silencer. Also going to be able to help take out the third right there. Gets the triple kill, the dual victory as a result of that as well. Bloodseeker wants this kill on a Wiz, but it's going to come at a cost, including that Aegis use right here and probably a death after. I don't see him getting away from this one. I mean, Stormhammer's up in 3 seconds. Get over the silence. That will be perfect timing, but it just won't matter.
Sven just going off that fight. The Darkseer soaks up all the attention. That's like the dream scenario. Like, yeah, Darkseer dies, but he eats so many spells there. He tanks the Rupture. He takes the full Lina combo. The fact that he initially gets Ruptured and gets a lot of spells on him, and then he gets healed up by the Shrine means they have to then dump a second load of full spells on him. And all while that's going on, Sven's just like, sweet, I don't have a BKB, but it doesn't matter because there's nothing to deal with me. He blinks in, deletes one hero, deletes the next, Jewel and Lina, gets a third kill. That was all Sven all day long. You've got to be focusing control spells on him if you want to be able to take a team fight if you're clutch gamers.
Yeah, Lina really was desperate to get that kill, and obviously she got it, but as you're suggesting, that's what really cost him the fight in the end. Of using way too much just simply to go and fighting on a Shrine is, say this often, it's just never going to be a good idea. But Shadow Blade picked up on Lina, of course, to go with that Bloodstone here. So why Shadow Blade over the Yules, you'd think, as we do have a duel coming out in reaction right here. Go for the Slaughter, maybe a turn kill as they relocated as well. Slaughter will go down. Not going to get the duel victory, though. Svenny, meanwhile, BKB on him. Activated while he got lasted, but Lina's falling fictive. She gets pulled in, but the vacuum ends up denying herself, realizing and it was a lost cause at that point. Sven wants more, damn it. Blink coming up in a second. No, the curse will prevent that. Hoping to pursue the Bat Rider for the time being. I don't think he's getting out, though, as Cuckoo's going to find him, and there's the charge. And yes, they will catch. So another kill to top it all off. Oh boy, it's starting to go downhill all of a sudden now for Clutch.
Yeah, a couple good teamfight scenarios. Sven that time did have the BKB, so he gets lassoed and control, but he actually doesn't take any damage. No one was right-clicking him, so the second the lasso wear off, he actually blinks on top of Lina, finishes her off, and back-to-back deaths on Armel means he's losing those Bloodstone charges down to just 8. Finding this game very difficult to play into the burst physical damage of Raven, Sven, even Legion starting to rack up some damage, has 34 with the Blade Mail and Shattered Blade, so things are going very well for TnC now.
So why do we think the Shadow Blade priority over the Yules?
On Lina?
On Lina, yeah.
Playing a pickoff game. I think Lina feels she can kind of run around, look for kills, solo kills herself. Thinking of which, that's the exact idea Cuckoo has. He's going to Shadow Blade. Lina wants to do what Cuckoo just did. It's going to be a game of just fighting, pickoffs. It's really good for Cuckoo because he's got that relocate to back him up. For Lina, doesn't have that like global presence. But what Lina can do is just solo kill people. Once you get like, you've got level 18, you've got the maxed out Laguna Blade, you've got some good right click damage, she can burst heroes down very quickly just on her own.
Just love how they are relocating it right there, but again, not even needed. Just shows you that Legion Commander just fine with that Shadow Blade, as we're just mentioning, as well as a Blade Mail, of course. Hoping to secure that kill, and actually LC does have a double damage room bottled up himself. And with the plus 48 damage he has from the victory.
Yeah, this is a really nice pickup, having a Shadow Blade at this point. It's going to force out a lot of sentries and just a lot of fear on the map for clutch gamers who in the past have been able to just push out lanes. Bat Rider can kind of go freely and split push a bit, but with a Shadow Blade, Cuckoo is going to be very active in trying to find pickoffs.
Feels like Bloodseeker's farms, and really just his items that he has, is very underwhelming. Now, he does have the ultimate orb to go with the S and Y, but that's not a scary set of items. Yeah. He's working on a Lincoln's here, but is that even really going to be a good answer to anything?
It's going to be an answer to the Jewel initiation, even the Sven initiation with those block the stun. Just means if he gets jumped, he can't really be jumped on by Legion alone or Sven alone.
Okay.
But it's not going to turn him into a scary late game carry. It feels essential, but the big issue for Bloodseekers in the item choice is the fact he's just behind. He's got 8.5k net worth. Sven has almost double that. Lina's in a good place, but you can't have the Bloodseeker this poor.
Darkseer just pushing out the middle lane, 1,800 plus gold saved up on him, so maybe that blink is going to be coming along, even more initiation. BKB being worked on by LC. Jeez, this is a farmed Legion Commander. He's third in the game.
And we kind of mentioned, like, called him an offlaner, but this is Cuckoo. He's normally the mid and often even plays like the greedier mid than what like Raven does as a safe lane carry. So this is pretty standard for the player. And I think the fact they have a Darkseer, this is a Legion you want to see getting really fat, getting a lot of dual kills, getting a lot of items. You don't want to see a Legion just playing as an initiator. You want to see this Legion as a pseudo carry to play alongside the Sven.
Oh yeah, definitely need that, and he is accomplishing that. So Spirit Breaker also able to do plenty. Level 2 Nether Strike and his own Blade Mill to work with here.
This Legion's just like blinking forward, clearing creep waves, playing hyper aggressive. He's kind of alone, but he knows that if he does get ganked, Io Sven can just relocate in, and Sven with the BKB can actually just fight like 2v5. Even if the entire clutch game as teams comes, he can still fight.
Oh, that was fun. Bat Rider actually TP'd out right next to Spirit Breaker. He blinked into the trees to TP out, and he almost blinked right on top of Spirit Breaker. So that would have been awkward, but he does not. That's the good news. He actually does have a gem queued up right here. Wants to try to get some vision back, but when you look at the perspective of their vision, I mean, it's not bad right now, to be fair. You got very aggressive ward, and then one more so on the bottom rune area for the Dire team here. Can they really make use of that is the question, especially with this Bloodseeker, the idea that you usually want to be hunting those kills.
Yep.
Hasn't really been
so
happening.
far, not a whole lot has been able to come from the Blink Daggers more than anything. I feel like Rappy on the Bat and the Slatter or Boombacks have got these blinks at a time where they immediately started smoking, trying to find picks, and they couldn't succeed in doing so. They did secure an Aegis off of it, but then that first fight with an Aegis, they lost quite horribly to the Sven. Trying to bait Armel top. They show him, but there's backup right nearby. They may still... Cuckoo, is he gonna... He's definitely seeing a lot of heroes here. Gets a Courier. There's a Silencer who he doesn't see, luckily for Silencer. That would have been pretty sad for Fly Solo.
Just runs right into a Courier and gladly takes that out at least. But yeah, no hero kills with that.
This Sven is going to be a big problem now with Lincoln Sphere in just a second. Gets 20% evasion too, which is a lot for a level 20 hero. Not the best game for evasion. Lean is definitely a decent right clicker, but ultimately still a nice little boost in his survivability.
Yeah, that with the 8 to all stats. He's got some nice benefit from that talent tree as far as staying alive goes, because his items allowing him to do plenty of damage. And wait.
Ooh, Lasso.
Lasso, who do they catch right here? That's actually relocate in right next to that Spirit Breaker that got caught initially, but they just surge away.
Both teams just
good.
run the hell away from each other.
Yeah, that was awkward initiation there.
Not the target he wanted to find, and also his team were... I don't think it was the right idea from Rappy to begin with, but he scared TnC because it's like, oh, we're being lassoed. That means the whole team's there, but Rappy was actually kind of alone. But TnC likely just want to keep these lanes pushed, wait for a Roshan, which will be respawning soon. They've got good map control, some good vision up, and in a good position to take Roche for themselves.
Sven, Lincoln's has been finished. Lincoln's a popular item in this game because Lena also got one on the other side, and we mentioned Bloodseeker getting his.
These are some of like the highest value heroes to bind against Bat Rider and Legion Commander because they've got big single target spells you really want to block, be it the Jewel or the Lasso, and they also don't have good ways, a spell to break Lincolns. Bat Rider can do it with the Force Staff, but then you don't have the Force Staff to pull them into your team, so it's not really the ideal way to use it. Yeah. Similarly, a Legion Commander, the only way you break Lincolns is by building like a Halberd or some other item, and right now Cuckoo's just doesn't care, he's not interested. He'll just duel targets that don't have Lincolns.
Bottom lane. Going for it. Lincoln's was popped on Alina right there.
Also the charge, I mean that's the charge being blocked, so it's an amazing Lincoln's game as far as that goes. Sven stun is also, I mean if Sven blinks on you with God Strength, you want to block that stun because you will die during that 2-second duration.
See, there is still somebody down there. That's Slaughdar, but not finding him. No reason to believe that he is down there. Not even gonna look for it. So obviously we've got into a stage of the game where it's proven to be pretty passive here, both sides. More so the Dire side. Clutch Gamers is very scared in this game right now, playing very defensive. I mean, again, they have a very aggressive ward still up that's about to despawn, one in their own jungle, but not feeling the most comfortable to push out here.
Very curious item pickup from Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, I was going to mention that actually, yeah.
I saw it queued up like 5 minutes ago. I'm like, I'm not going to talk about this because I'll believe it when I see it, but he has bought a Necro book. Interesting. Not your everyday item on a Spirit Breaker. Kind of reminds me of like Beastmasters going this item. Like you gank someone with Raw and your Necrobooks give you all this extra damage to kill people with.
Yeah.
Similarly, you gank someone with Charge into Netherstrike. You've got units to do extra damage while they're stunned, but I feel like it's an item that Theban's buying just because he's like theory crafted it. This item has received a ton of buffs to the duration, to like the damage output of the Warriors and the Archer. Probably just decided it's a really good value item to buy, and that's, I think, more than anything, the idea behind it.
Level 3 with a True Sight could come into play as well. Oh, they're going to get jumped right here. Blood Right activation. Isle's the one that is lassoed as the Global Silence used as well. Isle's going to live, though. Press the attack comes out. The wall was put down. Isle does eventually fall, but the God Slaughter Urban return God Strength from Sven. He's looking for a target to chase after. They're doing a pretty good job of kiting away, though. Darkseer picked off as well, so 2-for-1 exchange. Bat Rider being charged after. Netherstrike is still ready to go as well. He also has a Necronomicon going to spawn the level 1 minions, so not the most deadly. 1-for-3-7 will fall back before he goes too deep right there. So numbers-wise, really does work out for Clutch Gamers, actually. So good find by them there.
Yeah, they got on top of the IO, and even the Darkseer got killed off fairly early in the fight. And the biggest thing is Jewel did not actually land. I believe it went onto the Bloodseeker's Lincolns. The fight happened so fast, I don't think they had time to check Gabby's items. It was a new pickup, so I believe that Lincoln's caught Cuckoo by surprise, and as a result, no Jewel, no kill, and the double Lincolns on these cores is going to start becoming a problem. He really wants to duel one of those two heroes, but neither can easily be targeted unless someone like Spirit Breaker actually breaks it.
Yeah, and that translates into a Roshan kill with Cheese giving it to Lina here. Aegis, of course, giving up to the Bloodseeker. So once again, Clutch Gamers actually has a bit of momentum for themselves. They're still behind quite a bit against TnC here. About 8,000 net worth lead or so.
Definitely a manageable deficit now that you've got Aegis and Cheese and could look to put together a team fight around the next Global Silence. I think at this point, we'll see if there's going to be any other heroes trying to find ways out of that. There's a Plate Mail on Darkseer. Maybe he's just going to buy a Lotus Orb to not only get himself out of Global, but teammate. So he can Greaves himself and then Lotus a teammate to purge off the silence.
Do a chain of that. You like use it on the LC, and then LC purges somebody else.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That's by that time you figure it's probably gonna be wearing off anyways, I guess. But
yeah,
that's an idea at least. So see how that works out for them. But yeah, Bat Rider, he's now even building up a Yule, so more time being bought for Clutch Gamers to progress specifically on the Lina and the Bloodseeker. But Lina, I mean, he's been able to keep up with this Sven very well. Like 20,000 net worth. Only about 1,000 behind the Sven here.
Yeah, he's
in this game.
Armel is doing fantastic. He's very farmed. Has to go the defensive armor build. We saw this earlier from Alina, and it didn't really scale that well into the late game. But ultimately, if you don't get this armor item against the Sven Legion Commander, you're going to melt. So don't really blame him. I think it is the build. You don't want to go Glass Cannon and just die. But ideally, after this Shivers, you get your final item being some kind of Daedalus or right-click damage.
Spirit Break here was charging, just getting here to farm up the middle lane again. Looks like he's actually going to sit on that level 1 Necronomicon, which to me, that's even more of a head scratcher.
Yeah, that was the other thing. When he queued it up, he had level 1 queued. Normally, if you're going to buy like a Necro 3 or a Dagon 5, you just queue up the full recipe. So, I honestly don't know.
The mana burn to take off these Lincolns, I guess.
Yeah, it's one small little use. The Warrior last full damage is the way it scales is actually best at level 1. It's 550 damage, but like that in itself is like a 550 damage nuke if you get that on like the Batrider Firefly.
Yeah, at that point though, why not just get the Heaven's Halberd then? Yeah. Could argue so.
It's also a scouting tool, which is maybe one of the underrated aspects, but you know, this is all like kind of theory. I mean, I'll explain what the item does, but it's still very theory crafty. Like I can't really clearly state why I think this is the best item for him. I have no clue. This is, I think you could ask probably a bunch of pro players and they'd be clueless. They'd be like, why the fuck does this guy go to a Necro book? They wouldn't say it's all for them, but that just be, like, honestly, I don't think it's bad. I'm just confused.
Yeah, no, it's one of those you just like to know the logic behind it, if anything. But Lina, ooh, pops a link. And oh, you went on the cliff! No! The blink initiation, that's costing big time. The vacuum going off in the back lanes, but Darkseer now, he's being forced out. Isle's going down as well. Darkseer goes down. What just happened? Sven is in trouble. He will most likely fall. Oh, boy.
That was
you hate. I hate to sound, but it's like,
Poor Sven.
yeah, you're in the heat of the moment, you know, trying to justify what happened right there. But man,
It was a cacophony of mistakes.
Yeah.
The Sven blinked on the high ground. So the bat, knowing that Sven was up there, was like, I feel bad. I'm going to blink on. He blinked up there, and Sven just 3-shot him. That was the most bizarre. I mean, the Sven making a mistake is one thing, but then the bat follows it up by blinking on there.
oh, okay, yeah.
I think he tried to lasso, but Sven still Lincoln's up, and then Sven's just like, sweet, free kill. I'm stuck in a cliff, but he's actually going to kill
Yeah,
while he's up
why
there.
would you even lasso him at that point? Yeah.
Oh,
the
Jewel in.
with that blade mail, trying to kill Lena. Will not get it, and Lena is the winner as a result.
Trying to burst her down before the cheese can be popped, but one right click short. And unfortunately, that is a buybackless Legion going down. This game suddenly.
Clutch Gamers, and they burst down to Io, who down doesn't have a buyback. In fact, Darkseer is also going to get caught. Can he get away? Surge pop with the Shrine. The auto attack, so he got down about 40 life or so, but they're going to take tier 3. Again, we talked about this is undefeated TnC right now, 5-0, but that doesn't mean they're taking care of business just yet. They want to get that first seed, but a loss right here could really hurt that chance, if anything, and Clutch Gamers trying to play spoiler in that sense, but also give themselves a chance to advance on to at least the second phase.
And like even just the one loss for TnC, we kind of talked about some of those teams like Mineski, who have 2 losses faceless. Suddenly you're like, oh, TnC might actually go down to 2 losses as well. Maybe
True.
Fnatic do. And these teams with 2 losses will look at this and be like, actually, we can still get first. A loss here is not so much an upset, but does even the playing field for all those teams at the top. And it's no longer going to be that clear-cut race between teams like TnC as well as Fnatic and Execration, who all had 0 or 1 losses.
Yeah. And definitely, I mean, not to put it on a single player by any means, but as they're going to catch Slaughter right here, yeah, obviously what happened there, and then, of course, the blinking into the Blood Right earlier on in the game. A couple of those key mistakes has really allowed Clutch Gamers to capitalize.
Raven's normally the more solid, consistent of the two. If you talk about Raven and Cuckoo as the 2 star players in this team, it's Cuckoo who makes the super bold, crazy, aggressive plays, sometimes quote-unquote throws, but this game it's definitely been a bit more on Raven.
Well, Raven, he's trying to make up for it in some ways here, going right for the tier 3. Cost strength is up. Darkseer, not really the best vacuum, though. Duel onto Bloodseeker, if they can kill him, but they can't. The Shrine pop, great team support as Sammy just picked off as well. This lane is doing plenty of damage. LC has to stay away. Well, so I'm not going to save it there. Does have the Heaven's Halberd, but Sven, he's now caught. Io relocates, it looks like. So going to keep him alive for the time being. Io's going to be coming back, though. Spirit Breaker, can he get away? Probably not at this point. They're going to run him down. Maybe actually allow Io to escape, though, because of this. Yeah, Io goes back, but now they're going to spot him in. Yeah, he doesn't really have a tethered target. So just a matter of time. So they're going to lose 3 out of this. And no buybacks or anything used, I believe, so
Yeah,
good hold by Clutch.
TnC just, it's the SEA over aggression, you know. Theban's there, but they're still showing signs of it with some of Raven's plays. That was just like they know they'd broken the Lincolns on Bloodseeker, so they made a call like, hey, set up a duel for me. He hasn't got Lincoln, so the vacuum in a duel, it uses up the vacuum on one hero, and they didn't actually kill him during the duel because Legion himself got lassoed. He needed have a Lincoln's dropped on him. Someone like Sven could have applied his Lincolns to the Legion perhaps, but God, Cuckoo. Rappy guesses wrong with the napalm. That was so close.
They saw him there, but
He has no TP as well. Oh, that would have been such a big kill. That would have been maybe another lane of Rex.
yeah, that's no buyback. But he is going to stay alive, but as you said, he doesn't have TP for another 10 seconds. That's not really going to be a big deal.
He'll be back, but ultimately would have been a very, very juicy pickup.
Yeah, another thing about the Bloodseeker living, it was not only that, but with the last one of the LC, but the Shrine he used right next to him, too. I don't know if that was his teammate that clicked it, or maybe he clicked it right before, but somebody did, and it actually helped keep him alive on top of all that. So all the coordination coming out, and Bloodseeker actually has an Ags now. So for the charges on the Rupture here.
That's pretty nice when you've got multiple targets when you use it on. Perhaps you actually mess it up and you break a Lincoln's with one, or you've got another one, so you can guarantee getting on a Sven, but you don't want to waste them, but at least you have extra options there.
Starting to see level 25s come out. Lena the first, and of course has the obvious talent. The Fiery Souls there. Sven, almost level 25. 65 more damage. Pretty nice. I mean, -8 seconds on the storm makes it, what, a 5-second cooldown. That's, I guess, not too bad either. It's 2 second stun with 5-second cooldown.
Yeah, I
but
could see either one. Typically, I've seen the damage a lot more, but 5-second cooldown stun when you're using that to break Lincolns and to initiate could be worth getting.
Bloodseeker. Dagon queued up level 5.
Nice.
Do it.
So I like to see.
Yeah, you know, against the Sven, it was all that physical resistance here.
Yep.
It's actually not a horrible option. By any
BKB
means.
getting low.
Yeah.
Got Blood Rage to amp up the damage. Why not?
We'll see if he manages to get that in the future. But Sven, for now, the AC finished working on a butterfly here as well. So he likes that evasion idea. 20% already for the talent.
Okay.
We're going to find Duel set up on a silencer. They also get the stun and the slaughter. And silencer is picked up for the winner. And they also get bat rotted for a third.
Such a
And
good initiation.
3 hero kills. Just like that. I mean, the matter of 5 seconds.
Hey, Silence has been caught. Sada like blinks in to try and save him, but then as in the process of doing so, he gets blinked and stunned by the Sven. Then the Batrider tries to come in. He gets caught as well. It was just like a chain of bad events happening. And bottom lane, Armel needs to be
Can't
careful,
catch.
but we'll get it away.
Yeah, he was dusted, actually. They relocated in, they dusted him, but they just could not catch up to him.
There's the butterfly you mentioned. Raven with a DD rune could push forward.
Oof.
Do some damage to the high ground, which does not currently have a glyph for about 50 seconds, so could see the tier 3 tower going down, but better yet, Roshan. This is actually a much bigger price.
Yeah, no god strength, but I'm going to go for that. Of course, he doesn't have the Mask of Madness anymore, but yeah, so the butterfly here, you know, could have instead gone something like for even the Bloodthorn, Daedalus, even just more raw damage, but
it's attack speed. Like, he's replaced the Mask of Madness, so if he wants to get an attack speed item to, like, obviously fill in, and so he still has good attack speed, but evasion, a little bit of damage. The evasion is actually going to be pretty crazy with the talent and this. He's sitting at, well, we can't see now, he's popped the flutter, but I think it's something like 48% evasion. So this Lina late game with some right-click damage is going to be heavily negated. Bloodseeker's not, he's going to Dagon, which is, you're not just a high armor Sven, but you're a high evasion Sven, so Dagon is going to be the way to go. I like what Bloodseeker's building against it. I actually don't think Butterfly was maybe the best item based on Bloodseeker's upcoming build, but that's obviously something we see, and the Sven does not.
can't really tell there. They're smoked up are the dire side of Clutch Gamers, looking for any kind of kill opportunity, but both sides have made a point to be very, very safe and, you know, playing as a team more so.
Even bottom, charging in a 5.
Wow. Okay. Bait much. There's the crush. LSA. Lotus Orb put up. Still in trouble though, and God Strength activated. Okay, that's going to be an Aegis use. A Spirit Breaker there. So yeah, that's why he was so ballsy. Didn't even notice that initially. Vacuum wall combo goes off. Meanwhile, on the back lines, Sven looking to run back and puts the sun on the silencer. Silencer with the global silence already used. Lina's just kiting around this LC. LC duel has already been activated as well, but Lina going to keep her distance. Crush back in. Sven going to be stunned up. Again, he's being kited very heavily. He's even used up in the air. Lina with the stun after the fact as he comes down. And now Bloodseeker's looking to finish the job. Darkseer and Spirit Breaker dead in the midst of this. Sven's also going to be bursted down. He's dead for 99 seconds. And Clutch Gamers on the verge of breaking through against TnC. They're going to take out IO as he comes back as well with the relocate. No buybacks. That very likely is game.
Yeah, man, Clutch positioned and played that so well. Thieban just charging in, balls deep, didn't have any teammates with him really, and just kind of threw away the Aegis. I was surprised to see the fact he even had the Aegis over someone like a Legion commander.
It was one of those that kind of made more sense what he was doing, but then it didn't really.
And the Bloodseeker got the key Rupture off on Sven. Once Sven was ruptured, he couldn't really move around. He tried to run in with Rupture and just tank the damage, and then he got lassoed. Io healed him with the cheese, but then he still gets brought down. Like, he probably got, they probably tanked like 5 to 6k damage, but end of the day, he did close to none. The Sven just got kited for days. It was so well played by Clutch Gamers.
We have a run here in Southeast Asia. I know, a lot of people, including myself, were definitely expecting this region to be quite the bloodbath as far as which 3 teams would make it, and this is just evidence right here. Yeah. As we have Clutch Gamers taking out the previously undefeated team in TnC, who is now 5-1. So still on top, but we definitely got a race now. Clutch Gamers, that puts them out, what, 3-3 now, I believe.
Yeah. Big win for Clutch Gamers. I think really well played by Armel on the Lina. Some good initiations and just good kiting coming out from the Bloodseeker as well. But